Welcome to the Go Blue online marketing series. Today's webinar is optimizing your website for travelers and for search engines. This is the second of 6 online webinars that Go Blue Central America is presenting. Go Blue Central America is a project that's a partnership between National Geographic, USAID, and the Inter-American Development Bank. My name is Matthew Humke. I work with Solimar International, one of the subcontractors for USAID, involved with the Go Blue Central America project, and I will be presenting today's webinar. The Go Blue Central America marketing series, of which this is part of, has a number of overarching goals. Primarily, it's to help micro, small, and medium-sized businesses that are situated in coastal and marine tourism destinations in Central America to better harness the power of online marketing. The parallel goal to the Go Blue Central America project is not just helping small businesses increase their market access through online marketing, including the Go Blue Central America website, but it's also to infuse sustainability into the tourism industry and the destinations that the Go Blue Central America project is highlighting. Currently in 2013, there are 2 pilot destinations, Roatan, Honduras, and Bocas del Toro, Panama. We are currently adding additional destinations and additional businesses to the Go Blue Central America.org project and website. So if you are a destination or a business interested in learning more about the initiative, we invite you to visit the website and email us at info@gobluecentralamerica.org. Getting back to the goals of the webinar series, we are really focused in these webinars to help you, business owners and local residents in coastal destinations, to better use online marketing to promote your businesses. We are very focused on pointing you towards resources and tools that you can use to improve your marketing efforts. And ultimately, all of this, whether it's the website, the GoBlueCentralAmerica.org website, or the marketing that we are training through these webinars, it's all designed to help travelers find your tourism business. As I mentioned, this is the second of 6 online webinars that we're offering. In November, we'll be focusing on developing content for tourism marketing as a part of our 3rd webinar. This is going to be really focused on travel writing and how to create content that is useful, from website content to how you represent your business through other online channels. In December, we'll be looking at social media and tourism, a very important topic when it comes to travel and tourism marketing. In January, we'll be focusing on blogging and how to use blogs, which is a very dynamic and effective way to engage potential clients and to put really interesting content out there that search engines and travelers can find. And then in February will be our final online marketing webinar, which will be focused on review sites and reputation management. So how to utilize websites like TripAdvisor to promote your business and to manage your reputation. All of these webinars, including, the one prior to this as well as this one, will be posted on the Go Blue Central America YouTube channel. You can follow that URL to find that channel, or simply go to YouTube and search Go Blue Central America, and you'll be able to find all of these webinars saved there. As I mentioned, today's topic is optimizing your traveler tourism website for potential clients as well as for search engines. Which begs the question, why does your traveler tourism business need a website? Well, a few quick statistics to share to highlight the importance. Number one, 90% of internet users look for local goods and services online. So people are using the internet, which shouldn't be surprising to anybody, to research and to purchase goods and services, including tourism goods and services. Over the next 3 years, businesses that make use of the internet are expected to grow 40% faster than those that don't. In terms of travel and tourism, 80% of travelers in 2013 researched their trip online. So this is a massive trend that we're seeing, that as people are moving through the stages of researching and planning into buying their travel experiences, increasingly the vast majority are using the internet to do that. 42% of travelers go online to look for things during their trip. So this is simply to highlight the fact that even after people have picked their destination and are even experiencing their vacations or their travels, they use the internet to research things to do while they're at that destination. So throughout the entire travel cycle, it's important that businesses harness the power of online marketing. What makes a good website? Very basic question. We look at it as two main aspects to creating a great website. One is the design, how things look, how they appear, and the other aspect is the content. What information is actually contained in the website that helps visitors plan and purchase their travel experiences. So to start out today, we're going to focus on the first component, which is design. So imagine if you're a visitor or a traveler visiting a website for the first time. Consider your website, if you have a website. Can they easily, number one, learn about your products and services? Two, understand the pricing for those products and services and the availability of those products and services? Number three, figure out where you are and how that relates to their travel planning. Four, understand what your hours of operations are. Five, how to contact you. 5 and 6, either contact you through a telephone number or an email address. These are some very key basic bits of information that any travel website should be conveying. Some common mistakes that we see in website design, and these are things that we'll touch on. Text isn't legible, information is hard to find, navigation is unclear within the website, the home page, which is really the first and most critical impression, is confusing, and overall the website looks unprofessional. So we're going to explore these aspects a little bit deeper. So text is not legible, design mistake number one. One of the most common mistakes we find is people are trying to cram in too much information and they're making that text very small to do so. Big mistake, impossible to read, and very much is a turn off for somebody visiting a website for the first time. Another problem we see is that the font that's selected is hard to read. Somebody here obviously thought that this was some kind of creative way to represent their product, but it's impossible to read, and another common design mistake that we see. Another aspect when considering font and design is the contrast of the font color to the background. So we see a few examples here of font or text that's simply washed out because there's not enough contrast between the text and its background. Design mistake number two, information is hard to find. Websites need to be scannable, and we can see here on the left that we have an example of a hypothetical web page that has major blocks of text that's not broken up and that is simply overwhelming to a reader. People like to see information more organized, more broken up with titles, with bullets, with links, and those are some ways to manage your text as well as reduce your text amount. It's been studied and proven that people read websites in essentially an F shape, starting at the upper left-hand corner and then scanning downward. And websites, and you can see an example of Google here on the right, takes advantage of that type of reading tendency. And for you to effectively sort of organize the text on your website, this is something important to keep in mind. Important information at the top and increasingly less important information as you move downward. Here's another way to look at that aspect. Don't bury the lead. You want to put the most important and newsworthy information at the very top. And then if you need to, provide supporting details or any related info. And again, best to do that in a way where maybe you're linking people to related info or supporting information. So if they want to dig deeper, they can click on those links and find that information. But you don't want to overwhelm a page with text, especially as you move down the page, because people simply lose attention and lose interest. Design mistake number three, A website has inconsistent navigation. What do we mean by that? Well, here we see an example in the upper left-hand corner with the blue background, the landing page, the home page of a website called Aquatic Adventures. You can see here that they've used a horizontal navigation layout where they have their main navigation tabs across the top from left to right. But this particular website, as you click deeper into the page, for some reason, as you can see on the next screenshot below that, they've moved that navigation tab orientation to a vertical orientation on the left-hand column. It's not to say that horizontal versus vertical, one is better than the other, but rather consistency is critical. And then on the third page, as someone digs deeper, the main navigation tabs disappear entirely. So the main points here being that links should always be in the same place, navigation tabs should always be in the same place, colors and fonts should remain consistent, and that main navigation structure should either be at the top or on the left-hand side. Website design mistake number 4, websites don't include clear calls to action. What do we mean by a call to action? It's whatever we want the person visiting that page to do. And those calls to action, especially in travel and tourism websites, can include you want somebody to make a reservation or to contact you or to register for a promotion or event or an e-newsletter. Maybe it's to download your brochure or some information, and it might even be to come back later. So these are all clear calls to action which we want to lead visitors to our website to as clearly and as strongly as possible. We don't want to hide these things. We don't want to make it hard for people to figure out how to act, to purchase, or to research or understand your product better. So a good example of a website that has a clear call to action is this Lonely Planet page. You really have one option here, and that's to enter a destination that Lonely Planet will then help you explore. There are some additional navigation tabs at the top there that are a little bit more subtle and a little bit more hidden, but clearly this page has one primary call to action, as does TripAdvisor. Once again, we have some main navigation tabs across the top there, but you have a main prompt, a main call to action there in the middle of the page where you can start to plan the perfect trip. On the other end of the spectrum, we have an example of a website from a local B&B in Panama that has no real clear call to action. There's a lot of problems with this page, but one of the things that we want to highlight is the fact that there's simply no call to action here. There's nowhere to click to contact the owner or to inquire about a reservation or to download a brochure. Design mistake number 5. The web page doesn't adhere to home page conventions. And by home page conventions, we mean the basic elements of designing a web page, particularly a home page. So here we just have a sample web page, just a hypothetical business that has a few elements that we want to highlight that illustrate those web page conventions. Number 1, it has the logo in the upper left-hand corner. And that logo is going to remain consistently in that place throughout the entire website. And people who want to quickly come back to the home page can simply click on that logo, which is then linked to the home page. That's a very consistent and common way to present your home page navigation, and one that people are very used to and comfortable with. We have clear navigation across the top. And we can also see that we have a clear call to action here in the drop me a line fields there, where clearly the next step that the business owner would like to take to engage the client is for that person to send them a message. The second half of good website design that we'd like to focus on is content. And that is really all the elements, all the content that is within the website, whether it's text or images or video, that communicates and conveys the product of that business and the unique selling points of those products. So a few content mistakes. Number 1, that the content is not accurate or up to date. There's nothing more frustrating than clicking on a link in a website and to find a page like this. It shows that the business is potentially out of date or unprofessional, and it doesn't convey professionalism to potential clients. Mistake number 2, the content has common typos or grammatical mistakes. This is a common problem that we see, especially when a website is maybe featured in multiple languages and the web developer or the website owner has roughly translated that non-native language. So important, if you have your website in multiple languages, that you hire an editor or engage somebody who's a native speaker to review that content. Mistake number 3, the calls to actions aren't clear, and we've talked about this a little bit already, but it's critical that websites present clear opportunities for visitors to make that next step in engaging that business, whether it's a click here to make a reservation or click here to speak to somebody online to better understand what we're selling. Content mistake number 4, content's not written for its audience. So tourism is a very dynamic and niche business. There are certainly many different types of segments of travelers out there, and it's important that you as a business owner know who your audience is. You know who you're writing your website content for. And so, for example, the surfer on their left might be looking for very specific information about the seasonality of surfing, the types of surf breaks at the destination, and for the backpackers on the right, they might be looking for totally different types of information. They might be more focused on pricing or or other aspects of their experience at the destination. So it's important that travel business owners understand their audience and are writing content that specifically speak to those target markets. Content mistake number 5, content is not written for search engines. So when we talk about travel marketing and website design and website content, we speak a lot about keywords. And as you think through who your target clients are, who your customers are, an easy way to do that is to go through and list what type of information they're looking for, and within that information, pick out keywords that people commonly use when they are using Google to search for travel information or travel websites. So being aware of keywords is a very important aspect of developing content for travel websites. If you're interested in learning more about keywords, Google has a great keyword tool within its AdWords platform, and we encourage you to explore that. So you may be asking yourself, is it time for a new website? Maybe you have a website that's outdated. Maybe you have a website that was created by a web developer that hasn't been updated in months or years because it's expensive or difficult to update your content. Maybe you don't have a website at all and you're realizing that it's time that you did to get to the next level as a business owner. Well, there are a number of online platforms that exist today that are low cost or free to use that are great website development tools. Here's an example of just a few of them: Weebly, WordPress, Squarespace. These are all examples of online website services that are, in this case, all free. So we just want to take you through a few basic steps of one particular platform, Weebly, to show you how easy it is to create a new free website that not only looks good, but more importantly, that you have the ability to manage the content. You have the ability to update it, to keep it relevant and dynamic and fresh, which is something very critical, both in terms of how it appears to potential clients, as well as how it registers or appears in web browsers like Google. So with Weebly, the first step is to obviously go to the online software website, weebly.com. The first thing you do is you create your free account by simply creating a username and password. The next step is to choose a theme, and all of these websites have a plethora of different themes that you can choose from. And some of them are designed around aesthetic aspects, whether it's color. Some of them are designed around content aspects, so they have different themes that are better designed for certain industries, certain types of businesses, and within Weebly, they ask you that as well. So they're asking you what kind of business it is, which at times or in certain circumstances actually helps you to filter out certain types of templates or certain types of design options that might work or that might work better for your particular business. Once you're registered and you choose an overall look, an overall theme for your website, most of these websites have very easy to use, user-friendly design tools. So here we can see there are options here to start building out the content of your website. You can see on the left that you can drop in different website components, things like titles to sections or text, images. Maybe you have a photo gallery or an interactive map you'd like to drop in. So lots of options and very easy to use options in terms of beginning to build out the content of your website. Once again, most of these elements have very customizable design options. So changing the colors of boxes, of headers, of font color are all options that exist. And of course, you can also drop in different types of pages, whether it's an informational page that is primarily text. Maybe you have a page that's going to be primarily photos, like a photo gallery. Most of these website design tools have automatic pages that might create a form that people can fill out, like an information request form. So once again, lots of options and all free. And here's just an example of a quick website that we put together using these basic tools through Weebly to create a very basic website that looks nice. It's very simple, but it could certainly be expanded upon and more elements added to it. So in wrapping up, we just want to remind you that our previous webinars are available on the Go Blue Central America YouTube channel. You can follow the link there to access those YouTube videos. And once again, reminding you that next month in November 2013, we'll be focusing on how to develop content for your tourism marketing, a very key basic step to developing content for your various online marketing channels. We'll be sending out reminder emails to all registered Go Blue Central America users when the webinars are coming up. We encourage you to visit the gobluecentralamerica.org website to learn more about Central America, coastal and marine sustainable tourism destinations in Central America. And if you're interested and don't have a user account yet, we invite you to register online at gobluecentralamerica.org as well. Have a great day, and we appreciate your time.